If you've ever wanted to walk a Camino, but the French way and the Portuguese way just seem like a little too much of a commitment, why not start with the Camino Ingles? It's a 6-day walk through northern Galicia, Spain, ending in Santiago de Compostela. I walked the Camino Ingles with a friend in August 2025 and created daily vlogs which I shared on Instagram. I have compiled them into this one video for easy YouTube viewing. The landscape of northern Galicia is very different than that of the Portuguese coast. While on the coastal route, the path was mostly flat and I spent a lot of time walking next to the ocean. Whereas on this Camino, the terrain is more varied, there are a lot of hills and trees, and I'm walking through tons of eucalyptus forest and next to cornfields. However, if you come at a different time of year, it could look different, so keep that in mind. Galicia has an amazing food culture, and I was so excited to immerse myself in it even more than on my first Camino. I'm a travel chef and I love connecting with people and places through food while I'm traveling, and especially while walking a Camino. I hope you're hungry. Let's go. Come with me for day 1 of walking the Camino Ingles. This one is a little different as I'm not walking solo. I'm joined by Clara, who I met at cooking school. We were actually roommates and have been best of friends ever since. We start walking before the sun is fully risen, which is new for me, but actually very necessary in August in Spain. We soon enter the eucalyptus forest, and wow, do I wish you could smell this. We missed our turnoff for a small shortcut we planned to take over a pedestrian bridge, so we backtrack and turn right at the monastery. We are soon crossing the Ria de Ferrol, and after stop for a croissant, and then a coffee, and then pause at this bench for a quick blister check. We're back on the Camino, crossing highways, walking past all kinds of fruiting trees, and marveling at the gorgeous flowers, even the ones painted on buildings. There's a young girl with a small bracelet stand outside her house. I get this one for my niece, and she is gonna love it. We had a little off the Camino to go to what the map calls a traditional Galician restaurant, and 2 cars stop to tell us we're going the wrong way to Santiago. We thank them and then make it to the restaurant before anyone else tries to redirect us. I panic ordered a kebab and was very excited when this fancy hot pocket arrived. The rice and meat was also delicious, and the cooking show on the TV was very entertaining. A shot of caffeine and we're back on our way. We stopped to get a small picnic dinner and a refreshing lemonade to help us through our last hour of walking. We check into our hostel, have our picnic dinner outside in the setting sun, sample our foraged passion fruit, and get to bed. Stay tuned for day 2. It's day 2 of the Camino Ingles, and we are up and out before the sun. We're walking past food landscapes and soon see eucalyptus trees, passion fruits, figs, and tons of other edible fruits. We catch the sweetest sunrise as we cross the bridge into Ponte Dueme and treat ourselves to a typical Spanish breakfast of café con leche and churros. And then we stop for the real fuel. We take the long, steep hill out of town and are then walking under a mega fig tree and grape trellis. I am convinced we are walking through the fruit basket of Spain. A few more hours of forest bathing and we reach an institution of the Camino Ingles. This cafe is in every video I've ever seen of this route, and for good reason. It's a very welcome stop. We arrive in Minho, which is our home for the night. We've got this great hotel room, which is much easier on the budget when you've got someone to share it with. We can see the beach from our room, but first things first, we need some food. This place is just a block from our hotel and was calling out to us. I love when you can see your food being made, and the service here is just fantastic. We had a delicious, long lunch, and then you guessed it, headed to the beach for a cold plunge. We weren't the only ones with this idea, but no bother, this is heaven. Stay tuned for day 3. It's day 3 of the Camino Ingles, and we're walking out of Minho. Not quite as early as the previous days, but that's okay. There are quite a few hills, but it's all worth it when we get to A Ponte de Porco and are rewarded with this stunning sculpture, an ode to their namesake. There's a cafe right on the path, and we gladly stop for breakfast. We get sweet treats with our coffee, which is my favorite, and also order croissants. We're happy to see other pilgrims at breakfast. I don't think we saw any other walkers yesterday. We soon come across a donativo. We get a stamp in our passport, you need 2 per day, and leave some coins in the tin. There are also snacks and drinks and tables and chairs in the shade. We arrive in Betanzos, where we stop for a rest and a snack while we wait for our restaurant to open for lunch. This one has been recommended by tonight's host. We queue outside and get the last available table without a reservation. We fuel up with wine, calamari, and the local specialty of tortilla Betanzos, which has no onion and is meant to be this runny. At first, the wine helps our feet move along the path, and then I think it kind of hampers our progress. Thank goodness Santiago is there to point the way. This is the hardest bit so far, but it could also be that we were only able to find accommodation off the path, adding an hour of walking to an already long day. It is not an enjoyable walk. We're on the side of a road, we're up and down hills, and the idea of it is a bit demoralizing. We just don't want to talk about it, okay? There's nowhere to eat nearby, so we have a snack dinner and cold drinks I pick up at the nearby gas station. This cold Aquarius is a highlight. Stay tuned for day 4. It's day 4 and we're a little slow this morning. Due to our accommodation, we have to walk 1 hour to get back to the Camino. It's a bit rough, but we make it, and waiting for us is a cafe filled with pilgrims as the public albergue is nearby. We have a coffee and apple cake and join other pilgrims on the path. Soon we are walking past grapes, eucalyptus, and churches, but what I find so odd is that so many of the churches are closed. Oh well, we have the eucalyptus trees to marvel at and raise our eyes skyward. It's time for a water break. These water fountains are frequent and I'm always excited to see them. We stop at another Camino institution for essential hydration and an energy boost. If ever there were a Camino angel, she would be it, greeting and helping every pilgrim, offering cookies and making up trays of bread and salami to pass around. At one point, she locks eyes with me and just smiles, a long, sustained look that was so full of care. I attempted to return it to her, but fear I felt very short. How's that for some Camino magic? Definitely stop here. We continue on through the enchanted forest, stop to assess the blisters, and snack on a fruit and nut bar. We're walking past Bruma today, which is the next designated stage of the Camino, but honestly, I think the tourist office made this town up by putting an albergue here. There's almost nothing here and it's difficult to find on an actual map. We're staying off Camino again in a hotel with a pool. We've just missed lunch, so it's snacks and pool until dinner. My favorite is to repeat a cycle of cold plunge and drying in the sun. We have dinner in the restaurant, highlights were our first salad of the trip, and croquettes. Stay tuned for day 5. It's day 5 of the Camino Ingles, and we're having our first and only hotel buffet breakfast. It's a foggy morning, and we rejoin the Camino after a quick 30-minute walk. And look at all these pilgrims. This is the most walkers we've seen so far. In addition to other walkers, we spend the day surrounded by eucalyptus and other trees. We stop at another really lovely cafe. It's busy, and we chat with a friendly Canadian who's been living and teaching in Algeria. Today feels like our most typical Camino day so far. This route is not a very busy Camino, so there's just less people overall. But today I think we see most of them. First they pass us, then we pass them, and so on. We answered the usual questions over and over, and it's just really nice. I'm glad Clara has finally experienced this side of the Camino because I think it's one of the best bits, meeting people who are so different from yourself, and yet you're all dealing with the same issues. It's a great leveling experience that helps us see our similarities more than our differences. We find ourselves walking next to a highway, and it's really loud. We debate whether to stay on the Camino or take an alternate route that might be longer but is probably quieter. We finally decide to take our chances, and it is much quieter and not longer, so we deem it a worthwhile detour, even if it is walking on a long, straight road. When the Camino joins our route, we find our Canadian friend and walk into Seguero together, chatting about who knows what. Our host has left the key to our apartment at a nearby bar. While getting the key, we order sandwiches and scarf them down before I document it. And then our most important post-walking ritual. Stay tuned for day 6. It's day 6 of our Camino Ingles journey, and today we arrive in Santiago. It's a foggy morning, and there are lots of pilgrims walking with us. We start on roads, walk past corn and kale, meet this sweet pup, and find these strange-looking gourds hanging in someone's garden. We walk through many wooded areas today that are keeping us cool, which is very welcome because there are a ton of hills on the way to Santiago. We arrive at our first and only stop of the day. It's a cafe in the basement level of a hotel. After stamping our Camino passports, we order food. It's jamon sandwiches for us, and oh my gosh, does this hit the spot. I often wonder if the food in Spain is really this delicious, or if it just tastes better because we're tired from walking so much. I think it's both. It's back to the forests and hills. These guys are walking the Camino with their dogs and bringing joy to everyone who sees them. We stayed in the same hotel as these ladies 2 nights ago. We saw them when we stopped for our sandwiches, then walked with one of them for a while, chatting about life in the Camino. If you ever walk the Camino, be prepared to share your life story with tons of other pilgrims. We've reached the outskirts of Santiago, and suddenly pilgrims are emerging from everywhere. It's just afternoon, so the sidewalks are busy. Last year, walking in from the Camino Portuguese, it was much later in the day. I felt like I was the only one arriving then. This is such a nice experience, not only to be walking with my friend, but also all these other pilgrims. We stopped to get a quick snack for when we arrive. On this route, you enter through the archway where the bagpiper plays. The energy is palpable, and here she is in all her beauty. We did it! I hope you enjoyed watching my Camino Ingles vlogs. I love walking Caminos and want to help other pilgrims do the same. Here are some other videos I've made. Please check them out and send them to your friends. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button because there are many more delicious adventures to come.